Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Resilience Live. It is show number 10. I've done this for about 10 weeks now. Every Friday, I go live on various platforms: LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and I talk all about resilience, well being, happiness, success in your personal and professional lives. And I talk about a lot of different topics because life is so complex and multidimensional. Humans are complex and multidimensional. And so, when it comes to our resilience, our well being, our success in life, we need to look at a lot of different aspects of it. So today I'm actually going to be talking about social media and whether or not it's harming our well-being. And I'd love for you, if you're there at any point joining live during the session, to jump in and share your thoughts. I will just give it another minute or two for people to join. Mm, I'm not advertising coffee, by the way. It's not a promotional advert for the coffee, and even if I cover the name, you know who it is anyway, don't you? That's the power of branding. But it's not even. It's a bit milky. This one. It's not. I don't really like milky coffee, but I'll drink it anyway. I don't even know why I'm drinking it, to be honest. I don't drink coffee that often because it sends me a bit loopy. I love my tea. But I don't drink a lot of coffee, and when I do, I go a bit nuts. So I won't be having any more of those today. If you are there, do pop in the comments and say hello at any point. As always, as I say when I run these sessions, I'm here to teach and I'm here to share my views, my knowledge, my expertise, my wisdom to help you in your life. But what makes these sessions most powerful and most enjoyable for me is if people actually comment and share their own views. And also, what I tend to find is that people can put things in the comments that are really helpful for other people. So it's not just about my voice, it's not just about the way I articulate things, because there may be things that you would say that you would articulate that are actually really helpful for others. So it's really about having a conversation and sharing your thoughts that may help other people who may come and join live and read your comments, or they may read them later. So do feel free to jump in. I know a lot of people are quite shy on social media. They don't like to comment, they don't like to say things, but I'm all about the conversation. So if you want to, that would be great. So let's crack on for today's session. So as I mentioned, it's all about social media. Is it harming our well-being? And I probably, like many people, have a bit of a love-hate relationship with social media. And I'm going to delve into that a little bit more and explain why, and you can see if you resonate. And by the way, if you're first time watching me, the reason I keep changing the way that I'm looking is because I have one camera there and I have Instagram down here as well. So if I keep doing this, that's why I'm doing it. But social media. So, oh God, how long have we had social media now? Nearly 20 years, I think. The YouTubes, the Facebooks, the LinkedIn's, the Snapchats, TikTok. I don't even know any of the others, if there are others. Twitter. Way back in the day, there was like that thing called High Five, and there was MySpace, the early days of social media. Obviously, those ones didn't take off, but the main platforms we have now are very, very prolific and popular. And it's interesting because, I'm going to start with asking the question about what do you love about social media. I want to start on a positive because nothing is all bad or all good. Everything has multi dimensions to it. And I'm going to share with you, some of the things I love about social media. So when I think about social media, what I love about it, I love people. I love people. I love having access to so many people and learning from people. I would not be where I am if it wasn't for social media and what I've learned from other people on social media, whether it's teachers and authors and speakers, that I can just watch so many of their videos and learn so much. And I use their knowledge and wisdom in my own life. I use it in my own trainings. I refer to their work. It's absolutely fantastic. So it's really a great resource. Social media is a great resource for learning and progressing yourself at your fingertips, largely for free. I mean, what a time to live in. We live in a really, really amazing time that we have that at our fingertips. Anything you want to learn about anything in the world, you could probably find it on a social media channel. You'll find an expert who's talking about it, and you can learn from them for free in your own time. I mean, that is just unreal. And if you're not taking advantage of that, you might want to check yourself and think, is you don't have to, but maybe there are things that you could benefit from as I say, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all the things that I've been able to learn on social media. What else I love about social media is the interactions, the relationships. I have people that I've met on social media that have become friends who actually I still haven't met in person, but we're still good friends. So that's a really, really wonderful thing. The variety of people as well, the fact that there's so many people at your fingertips that you can connect with, converse with. I've had people on other channels where I also share my work, and they've said to me that in their personal lives, they don't actually have great relationships. They don't have a lot of people around them, like in their physical lives. So, social media has actually been a lifesaver for them because it's given them access to groups and communities of people who are of like mind, who are on similar journeys, who can help them, support them, who they get on with, who they don't have in their physical world. And relationships are key to well being, success, resilience, happiness, health. So many people build better relationships with people and meet great people on social media compared to who they actually have in their physical life. What else do I love about social media? I mean, I love the platform it's given me. I love to create and express myself, and I've been able to do that on all these platforms for free for so long. I mean, that's just unbelievable and amazing. I'm so grateful that I can do that, and people who may like to watch me get to interact, and I just think it's unreal. It's such a great opportunity, and I love it. I also love social media as a creative space. So I love to follow creative accounts, artists, people who are really creating cool stuff. I posted a video just recently on my LinkedIn of a dance group that went viral on various platforms just the last couple of weeks. They got to like 60 million views on YouTube. And it's just beautiful to have access to that kind of content because it's so uplifting. It's amazing. It's pure creativity, artistry, love. It just lifts you. And the fact that millions of people, billions of people around the world can see that, experience it, enjoy it. And then it started a trend where people were doing the dance all over the world. Like it's a global thing. And I just think, oh, and because that's such a beautiful, loving, inspiring, joyous piece of content, that's a wonderful thing to spread. That's absolutely amazing. So I love that about social media. We can really share and spread amazing, powerful things, high frequency, high vibration, love, inspiration. We can share those things out there and affect people's lives on a scale that we wouldn't be able to do without social media. So that's another thing I love about it. What else do I love about social media? Let me see if there's anything else. And also, if you let me know, what do you love about social media? Pop it in the comments and let me see, because there may be other things that people love about it. That also, staying in touch with people who you don't necessarily see or speak to anymore in person as much. Someone just popped up on my Instagram. I don't know if they're still there, but it is someone who's a very sweet soul, and I don't see that person in person anymore, but it's nice to know that on here we can sort of keep up to date with what each other are doing and just maintain a bit of a connection. So I don't know if you're still there, but hello, I hope you're well. And so, things like that are really, really helpful. I'm really advertising the Costa right now. I'm not advertising Costa. They didn't pay me. You want me to advertise Costa, you gotta pay me. I don't understand. It's pointless. It's pointless because you know who it is. But so yeah, what else do I love about social media? I think that's it for now. I do love it. I do love it. But like I said, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with it, which I think many people do. Mm, so I'm going to go on to that part now because I think a lot of people really struggle with social media. And this is where it really affects our well-being, our mental health, our resilience, our happiness, our joy, our success in life, in so many ways. And to be honest, this can get really deep, really complex when you are looking at human psychology, behavior, emotions, how we function. It's complex. So this could go on for a long time, but I'm going to try and keep it short and to a fair few points. But so let's talk about that. I'm going to share what I dislike about social media. So what do I dislike about social media? I dislike that it can be very noisy. There's a lot of content on particular platforms, and it's just noise, noise, noise. And it's a lot of stimulation coming at you. The videos, the sounds, the next video, the next sounds, the post, the quote, the comments, the likes, the this, the da, 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 da. It's a lot. And if, like me, you get stuck in the addictive scroll, where you just next video, next, it's bombarding your brain with so much information. And you've got so many people. There's people that you're following that you can know about their lives that you will never meet in person. You don't, to you, they're just a picture on a screen. It could be a person on the other side of the planet you're never going to meet. And yet you're engaged in their lives and you're looking at them. That's not natural. Human beings naturally in our nature are designed to live in communities of around 100 to 150 people, not thousands of people like we have on our social media communities and like we're scrolling and accessing people's lives. This is pretty insane. I don't think our brains are designed to handle and cope effectively and healthily with that level of information bombarded at us. And if we're on there all day, all sorts of things, it's a lot. It messes with your head. So that's one of the things I don't like about it so much is that it can be really, really overstimulating. I don't like the fact that platforms like Facebook were purposely designed to be addictive. The like button, the endless scroll, that is purposely designed to keep you on there and keep you going back for more. It is designed to give you a dopamine hit in your brain every time you get a thumbs up. And that's actually really unhealthy because we get something, they talk about it, it's basically wearing out your dopamine receptors and making you addicted. So it's a drug. So the more you get, you become tolerant and you need more and you need more and you need more, and it's never enough. And that's a dangerous road to go down. So you've really got to watch that. So I don't like the fact that actually, for me personally, I feel it's quite unethical to actually design a system that's going to affect people's brains, psychology, mental health in that way. Did they know enough about it and what it could do to people? Well, they did. They designed it into the system, but that's the world we live in. So I don't really like the fact that it's overstimulating, so much information, so much going on, and it's addictive and purposely designed to be that way. What else do I think about social media is not so good that does damage our health and well-being? Is the comparison with other people. You look at someone else and it's like, oh, they're doing so much better than me. Oh, they're so much happier than me. Oh, they look prettier than me. Oh, look at their nice photos. Look at their fancy videos with all the little transitions and the blah, 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 blah. Look at how many followers they've got. Look how many comments. Oh, their businesses must be doing so much better. Blah, 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 blah. That is hell. For me, it's hell. I do struggle with that. And it's really mentally unhealthy. And the thing that I find interesting is that before social media came about, and I am of that age where I have lived a life without it, which I am very grateful for because I can have that contrast. I didn't care what other people were doing. People around me, people at my workplace, my friends. Yes, I cared in the sense that they were around me and they were people that I care about, so we knew what people were doing. But I didn't pay attention to it in detail. It wasn't in my face, and I wasn't comparing it myself to them. I was just on my path doing my thing. So I had more focus, I had more dedication and commitment. I had more energy to put towards my life and my progress. Because when you're on social media comparing yourself to someone else, you're giving that energy, you're taking the energy out of you, putting it over there into something that's useless and pointless and making you feel bad. And now you have less energy to focus on your own life and your own activity. So pre social media, I didn't have that problem. I didn't care what anyone else was doing. And my life was better for it. I had much more success, much more happiness in my career, in my relationships. Everything was flowing much better because I was focused on myself. And now with social media, my energy is spread and wasted by focusing, oh God, look at that person, that one's better. Oh no, I'm not as good as that person, blah, 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 blah. And it makes me feel like a non-swear word makes me feel really bad. So it doesn't make me feel good. And it brings up my insecurities. And everyone has insecurities. And you can't blame social media for that, by the way. If you're triggered by looking at someone who's doing better than you seemingly on social media, That is the root that's in you. It's not just social media. Social media is the trigger. So I do know that what it's doing is bringing up my own insecurities that have been born and bred into me since childhood. So that's a deeper root of it that you need to be aware of. So it's not actually about social. But that's the other thing we need to look at. We blame social media for a lot. And we say, oh, teenagers are having mental health issues and eating disorders because they think they need to look like the Instagram models with all their filters and all. That's the other thing I don't like about it. It's becoming so fake. It's always been fairly fake. But social media, they say people just show you their highlight reel. They show you the glossy side. And then on Instagram and so on, they put filters on it. So it's not even their real face. If you're on Instagram, go check it out. It is unreal. You can put a filter on your face that makes you look stunning and perfect, and it looks so real, and some people will look at that and go, oh, look at that person with their perfect face, and my face is not perfect, and now I feel bad. It's not even real, it's fake. And people, the line is, don't compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. And that's what we do when we compare ourselves to people on social media. They're not showing you, a lot of them are not showing you the reality of their lives, all the struggles, all the pains, all the fears, all the insecurities that they too have. They're just showing you the nice glossy stuff. And if you're not aware, you can take that as reality and be like, oh, they must be doing better. No, they're probably not. They're just not showing it to you. So the fakeness and the comparison is a really, really tough thing. But as I was saying, we blame social media. And yes, they designed the platforms to be addictive, so that's their fault. I don't agree with that. But I'd like you to ponder one thing with me. If the people weren't on social media, what would Facebook be? What would LinkedIn be? It would be a blank web page. What would Instagram be without us creating content and being on there? It would be blank. It would be nothing. So social media is us. It's a reflection of us. So when you're on there and you're seeing fakeness, or you're seeing trolling, or you're seeing angry people, or whatever it is that you're seeing that you don't like, or even the things you do like, that's simply a reflection of who we are. So actually, if there's things on social media that you're not enjoying, it's not the platform, it's the people. And it's the people you got to look at and say, well, that's who we are. So, where is that giving us an opportunity to reflect, to grow, to expand our own consciousness, to develop ourselves? Because it's us who make social media what it is. So, that is something to think about. What else don't I like about social media is that addiction to the likes and the follows and the comments and again, it's an addiction. It's really unhealthy for your brain. And the endless scrolls. I've got nephews who are, one of them is 8, and I saw him on YouTube doing what I too get stuck in, which is the endless scroll through the video shorts. Scroll, scroll, and can't stop, can't get out of it. I have the same problem many times. That's not cool. That's addiction. Addiction is never a good thing, whether you're addicted to technology or alcohol or shopping or sex or money or gambling. It's not healthy. And so many of us are addicted to technology. And you have to question, what is that doing for your well-being? Because I would suggest it's not doing much. We can talk a little bit more about that in a moment, about addiction and what to do about it, because it's really not good for you. But have a little think about other things that we don't like. What else don't I like about it? I don't like, there's two things, echo chambers and um, the the desire we now have for fast content. So my work, for example, and the way my brain works is about depth. It's about nuance. It's about long form conversations. It's about exploration of the details. It's about really getting into the intricacies and the realities and complexities of life and consciousness and so on. But on like Instagram, YouTube, whatever, it's 10-second video, 30-second video, one quote, that's it. It's little superficial levels of fast content. Like we have fast food, fast fashion, it's fast content, fast information. And so people only want that. They want the instant gratification. and they don't take the time necessarily to look at things more deeply and understand the nuance and the complexity of the quote, and to understand more about what's being talked about in the 30-second video, because you can only say so much in 30 seconds. And some people will take that and go, well, that's the truth. That's it. No, no, no. A lot of these topics are so complex, but people jump on that and then they live their life and they form their beliefs and perceptions on these very superficial high levels that are not actually practical and real and based in reality. And so when we're living in a complete delusion because we're just living at this level, but there's depth to everything. And unless you're willing to read a longer piece of content, watch a longer video, go and do some research of your own, you're never going to understand that. But you still think you understand. People read a quote and go, I understand the world now. No, you don't. There's a lot of depth and complexity, but it's an addiction to fast information, fast little tidbits that people want and have, and so it stops us from really developing depth and wisdom and knowledge and information and so on. So that's something that I'm not too much of a fan of. But it is what it is. Don't think there's anything you can really do about that. The other thing I was going to say, what did I say before that? I said, so I said there was the superficial, and then I said, can't remember what it was. Unfortunately, I can't go back and watch it right now and see there was two things. Maybe it will come back to me in a moment. Um, mm, that's going to really annoy me now. No idea. If you're watching and you remember, please let me know in the comments what it was. I said there were two things. It's going to annoy me. I want to say it. Oh, echo chambers. Echo chambers. So an echo chamber is basically where you get on one social media platform. People are all agreeing with each other. And they're saying, yes, yes, our point of view is right. This is what's true. And they're very loud. The echo chamber is very loud. And they think that that's the only truth that exists. But there may be 10 times more people on the periphery who are quiet, who don't post, who don't speak, who just hold their thoughts in, who have differing opinions. But the echo chamber is so loud, it's echoing, echoing, echoing this one point of view, and they think that means we're right. We know everything. No, no, no. There's so much else going on, and we don't invite those conversations in. And how can you grow and expand and develop as individuals and collectively as society and as a race, as humans, if we don't allow differing opinions in? So the risk you have on all social media is you get caught in an echo chamber and you think that what you think is the only thing that exists, and you think that because people on there agree with you, then you must be right. But there's billions of people whose opinions and experiences differ, but they're just not on there shouting about it like you. So that's a risky thing in terms of our own development and our own intellect and our own consciousness to get trapped into echo chambers. So that's another thing to be wary of. So I want to talk a little bit about the addictive side of social media, because just to summarize what I've said there, there's pros and there's cons, as with everything. I love it and I struggle with it, as with everything. um I'm very grateful for it. I think it gives us so much opportunity. There are people who've created wonderful businesses online, that's given them so much freedom in their lives, and there's people who are able to express their artwork, and I love that sort of stuff, and they can create businesses doing what they love. There is a lot of potential on social media. You can build your brands, you can access people across the world, you can build relationships with people that are amazing that you'd never meet in person. I mean, there's so much positivity to it. But all the downsides we must learn to manage, because they are the things that are harming our well being, our resilience, our health, our mental health, our physical health. And the fact is, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, they're not going to deal with those things for you. So if you struggle with social media, you must deal with that. You must look inside and say, okay, what is it triggering in me? How can I change my behaviors, my perception, my interaction with these platforms so that I can either, maybe you want to get off them altogether. Many people have done that. Sometimes I wish I could. I can just imagine not having all this noise in my life from these platforms. And it's like, oh, because I can think back to those days. I'm so glad that I had a life without social media because I know what it was like. And I can think back, oh, that was amazing. So much more peace, so much more time and energy to put towards things that were meaningful to me. Sit down, read a book, paper books. I love them. Just in peace without ads popping up every second and the next video and the next. It's just you and the book. Focus your mind. Your mind creates your reality, and your ability to have stringent, laser like focus on what you want to create is absolutely key. But if you're on social media and it's asking you to focus on a million different things at once in the next video, in the next comment, blah, 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 you can't focus. And now you've got to learn to rein that back in, and it's very difficult. So you've got to learn to master your own mind, your own behaviors. So things, I've got a few notes actually. I'm just going to go through. The other things with the physical side of things. So when you're on social media, and you're scrolling through your phone late at night, for example, or even during the day, it's really bad for your eyes. My eyesight has gotten really bad over the last few years. I've always had a few issues, but it's gotten worse over the last few years because I'm always on this little phone, like squinting and scrolling, and I'm on screens. Really bad for your physical body. Your posture on your phone, you're like this. Really bad for you. It gives you headaches, gives you eye ache, dry eyes, blue light stuff that stops you from sleeping. A lot of things we got to be aware of here that are harming our well-being in terms of technology and social media. Um, and so, I think I'll get what I'll do. I'll share with you what I've done to help myself, which, by the way, is very small, and I have a long way to go. I really do struggle with it. Look, I'm on social media predominantly for my work. I don't really post a lot of personal stuff on there anymore. When Facebook first came out, it was more of a personal thing. You can see photos from your friends, and I love that. You keep in touch with people and see what's going on in their lives. But now it's more so for work, and I love that. But it does mean that I get sucked into it, and have all these challenges. But what I will share with you, the comparison things, and your news feed. Vetting your news feed is really important too. If you're following people and information and organizations that are putting stuff out there that is negative or worrying you or making you concerned or making you feel bad, sometimes the answer is to unfollow. You got to get that stuff off your news feed because it's coming at you and it's going in your brain and it's affecting your thinking and your feeling and therefore your behaviors and therefore your results and therefore your life. So it's not a fickle thing. So vet your newsfeed. Are you following the kind of people that you want to be following that are adding something positive to your life, something that's helping you? You might want to look at doing that. So that's something I've done. I stopped following things that were just making me feel rubbish or worrying me and telling me all the fearful things in the world. So I don't need that. I know it's there, but sitting here looking at it all day doesn't help me feel any better. So I'm going to unfollow. Um, I also unfollow, things that I find too superficial that just, people posting like selfie after selfie after. Look at me. It's like, I'm not really a fan of that. I like looking at pretty people, don't get me wrong, but generally I'm like a little bit boring now. What's the depth? But that's me. I like depth. I like to go deep into life and consciousness and explore. It's not just about the superficial stuff. Um, the other thing that I think is really helpful, in terms of the addiction to technology, the only way I know around this is to just put a little bit of will into it and put down the phone. Put it down, put it down, just put it down. I don't know any other way around it. And it's hard because when you're addictive, you're unconscious. And when you're unconscious, you can't control your own behavior because you're addictive. You're in autopilot. Scroll, 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 scroll. So you got to wake up, step back, look at what you're doing, observe what you're doing, observe what it's doing to you. And even though there's that little achy, itchy part of you that says, no, I want to see one more video, scroll just one more video. You gotta, will, put it down. Put the phone down, leave the room, get out, run away. Whatever you need to do to just stop it. And little by little, do this again and again and again. So, like at night, they say you shouldn't have screens for about 30, sorry, an hour and a half or something, 2 hours, I don't know, whatever. For me, the longer the better, I'd say, before you go to bed. So start building a routine that makes you put that down. Start building the habits. Just and don't be like, "Oh, I'm never going to look at it ever again before bed." Don't put yourself into that kind of pressure. Just say, "Today, I'm putting the phone down before I go to bed. Maybe I'm going to go straight to bed. Maybe I'm going to replace that activity with a health activity or reading a book or spending time with my children or going for a walk or whatever it is. Replace the activity with something else, ideally not another screen or another technology induced thing, because I think that's what we need a break from. So just today, I'm going to put the phone down and I'm going to go do something else. The other thing, and again, and then next day, okay, today I'm going to put the phone down and then do something else. Next day, today I'm going to put, don't be like, oh, for the next rest of my life, I'm never going to touch it again, because then you just won't do it. Just focus on the here and now and the little habits that you can change right now to stop your addictions to technology and social media. The other thing is that immerse yourself in what you actually love to do and create. So, a lot of social media is about consumption. You're consuming content, but you are not just a consuming animal, you are a creative being. You are here to create. Okay, your reality, your experience, to put things out into the world. Now, that may mean that you create something on social media. It may mean you go create a meal in your kitchen, or you create an experience with your children, or you create something else in your life or your work or your projects or with your colleagues, whatever. So rather than just the consumption on social media, put that down and start creating and putting out from you. And if you're spending time doing that and you're doing it on things that you really love and are meaningful to you, it will put you in a heightened state of consciousness that transcends addictions. You will not even think about the phone. You will not miss the phone. You will not. Trust me. You will go into a state of what we call flow, which is where you transcend time and space. You don't recognize how fast time has gone. You don't even have a drink, go to the loo, whatever, because you've been in another state of consciousness that is beyond the mind and body. That because the mind and body gets addicted, not the soul, not a heightened state of superconscious creative genius that we all have. So put yourself in that state, and addictions don't exist for you. You don't miss them, you don't want them, you don't get called by them. Now, yes, we don't all live in that state, so we come back down and then we get it. But you got to just practice putting yourself into that state by creating and doing things in your life that are meaningful to you here so that they help you to transcend and come out of that addictive state. So that's two things really. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it because I am coming to time. But one thing I will say to you at the end is what I've been saying for years, and I don't think many people understand it. And I hope we can understand it at some point more because it's really important. Technology is evolving faster than human consciousness. Okay. We are like, when we think about us with technology, social media, digital, and all the wider technology we have out there in the world in the fields of science and technology, all the things, artificial intelligence, all that sort of stuff, we are like, I liken that to giving a chimp an AK-47. We are not that advanced. And I don't say that to dig at anybody. I'm talking about me too. I get addicted. Our consciousness and the majority of people is very low. We're immature. Mentally, we're immature. Physically, we're still grounded in our animal nature. We haven't reached high levels of consciousness. So, but our technology is going really fast, but we're still back here like little chimps and we haven't caught up. And that's a dangerous mix. I think as Einstein talks about sort of science without, he talks about science without religion is lame and religion without science is blind. But we can say it in the same way. For me, it's about technology without wisdom, wisdom and consciousness and awareness. We don't have a lot of that. But we have all this technology and we can't handle it. And that's why it harms our well being because we don't know how to use it in functional ways. And it takes us away from our true nature. And it takes us into this non-physical, not non-physical, materialistic world that is not who we truly are. So it's a tool. Use technology, don't be used by it. And only you can do that for yourself. Only you can work yourself to develop yourself, your habits, your thoughts, your behaviors in order to use technology as a wonderful tool that gives us so much, that allows me to sit here and speak about what I want to talk about on the internet, and then anyone, if they want to watch it, can watch it. I mean, it's amazing. But you have to develop yourself and your relationship with technology to make sure, and social media, to make sure that it's healthy. We cannot blame the platforms. We know they did some silly things, but ultimately you got to take responsibility for your life. Take your power back. If you have a dysfunctional relationship with social media that's making you feel bad about yourself, that's making you stressed, that's making you feel insecure, that's stressing you out, that's making you addicted, that's stopping you getting a good sleep, only you can deal with that. You must deal with it, but you have to do it. Don't look to anyone else. You got to check yourself and say, okay, what can I start doing to break away from those unhealthy addictions? So, my darling sweet souls, I'm going to leave it there. So, I hope as always that that's given you a little something to think about. And hopefully, I will see you again next week. Will be episode 11. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. If you have any ideas or you have things that you'd like me to discuss, do pop me a message or something in the comments. I'd be happy to discuss anything at all relating to human resilience, well-being, and development and evolution of our own consciousness, because I love it and I love talking about it, and I hope it helps you. So take good care, have a good afternoon, and have a lovely weekend. See you soon. Bye bye.